You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. Now let's talk.
Greetings, 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 my visionary dreamers. I'm going to get better. I'm going to learn how to hold a tone before it's all done with. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Get It Started Mondays. And I'm your host, Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from the world, saving you from yourself, saving you from drowning in some real bull-ish. I just want you to get out your own way and do the damn thing, y'all. In this podcast, in case you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a podcast for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know us normal folks here. You know, we just trying to, survive. Well, we're not just trying to survive. We trying to do big things. And then let me even take that out. We're not trying. We are doing big things. Y'all know how I am about the verbiage. You got to watch what you say out your mouth because you have what you say. Words are powerful. Power is in the tongue. So, yeah, I'm going to work on this whole try thing. I'm always on people when they say try. So, yeah, we all are doing the damn thing. And today, I'm excited. I mean, I woke up this morning and I felt so good. I'm feeling good all the time, especially a lot here lately. But it's just this part of my journey has been very, very good in so many different ways. I definitely feel that I have been just growing every day. As I always say, grow as you go, and that's what I've been doing. And let's get right to it. Today's topic is a limited mindset will only take you so far. A limited mindset will only take you so far, y'all. And for some reason on Mondays, I'm always at the last minute coming up with a topic. I think it's because it's the top of the week and, you're just trying to catch up with work and just coming off the weekend. And I just have to say this now. I'm going to repeat it along the way of this podcast show. I have been talking about this far as cutting out Mondays because I really want to give the blog some love so that I could bring some great information to y'all with the website chronicles-of-livin-podcast. It is up, but nevertheless, I just really haven't had a chance to just put the rest of the information on it that I want. The doggone podcast shows, not all of them are on there. So I'm going to take this vacation time, Thanksgiving break to really, really vamp up everything. And, while this is going to be my last Monday. I'm going to continue doing Sunday and Wednesday, but this is going to be my last Monday. I'm definitely going to change it everywhere. But those who are listening, just please make a note of that. This is my last Monday, but that doesn't mean that you can't come visit Chronicles of Living podcast show on Mondays, because you could come back on Mondays and the shows that you missed are always archived. I didn't even promote this show because I want to, I want to stop this whole Monday thing so people won't think, okay, I'm going to come on Monday. So it's bittersweet, but nevertheless, it's not like I'm losing out on Mondays. I'm just going to make sure that I give you a fresh blog post on Monday that you can go and look at and get some other type of information, rather be for your health, rather be just awareness, or rather it just be whatever, So I have to make sure I balance all my time because I definitely want to be consistent with giving you guys some good content. And before I really get into the topic, I just want to say, if you did not catch yesterday's show, definitely download that show. It was an awesome, I would say, conversation with Ira Pastor. He's the CEO of BioKirk Inc. And he's doing some great things and making a great difference, adding to the world. And I just want to start off with him, like this man decided in his mind that he wasn't going to have a limited mindset. He didn't think about, okay, tackling a different way as far as the farm. He was in the pharmaceutical business for years, for over 30 years, and he decided that, okay, basically the pharmaceutical industry wasn't curing diseases, and he set out on a journey to start his research and finding ways to cure certain deadly diseases. So I think that's a great way to open up the show, because if he had a limited mindset, he wouldn't have made it nowhere near that far. He would still be working for the pharmaceutical industry and just following the standard way of healing, the Band-Aid way. And he took and learned what he learned, and now he's making, changing history in his own way, leading his own path. And I'm so grateful to him. And Ira, if you're listening, I just want to thank you once again. I just really enjoyed the conversation with you, and so have my listeners. I've been getting a lot of great feedback about that. And I think that when people hear other people setting certain new trends, new paths in life, and they can actually hear them come on the show and just talk to us everyday folk, I think it kind of sparks something in people to see that, because, we all can do big things. We all can make a difference in this world. Long as we don't look at it and get overwhelmed and say, oh, you get this big vision, this big dream dropped in your spirit, and it's like you look at where you at now in life. Maybe it might be where you live, your environment, or your finances, and you just void it out and say, oh, no, that's not possible. I just can't do that because I don't have enough money. I don't know how. I never went to school for that. That's a limited mindset. That's you just shutting yourself down before you can even get started. And I've never, thank God, I thank God all the time. I've never had a limited mindset. Everybody that knows me will tell you that, as I say, I half cray. I never say the full word because I'm really not going to claim that over my life, but I'm half cray because I'm such a risk taker. I don't care what God drops on my spirit. It could be something crazy, as it's been times when God just dropped something on my spirit, like write a letter to this certain couple and put a gift card in it. I can remember this clearly. At some point, each part of my journey, I just feel like it was stages. This particular stage in my life was a stage that for some reason I always prayed for people in my closet. And this was some years ago. I still pray for people, but this was like a deep part. Like, I would actually get really, really into praying for these different people. And then it got to the point that it was like I started getting phone calls from people I would pray for and be like, can you pray for me? Because your prayers work. Like, and I think that's all a part of the limited mindset. Because when people would ask me to pray for them, I never thought to myself, well, I'm not God, I'm not Jesus. Like, my prayer, what is my prayer going to do? No, because they asked me that, I believed. Like, I'm like, these people believe that my prayer is working. So, okay, I need to believe that it's going to work, and I need to pray extra hard for them, So I went through this season of just being in my closet all the time and praying for different people. And I can remember one time, during this period, God dropped on my spirit to write a letter to this couple. And I knew the couple, but it wasn't like this was a couple that I talked to on a regular. I would just see them when I came around one of my exes. It was his family members. And but for some reason, God dropped it on my spirit to send him a letter and to send him some gift cards for them to get out the house or whatever like that. And this, the husband was a cop. And if they're listening, they'll know who I'm talking about. But the husband was a cop. And I guess, I don't know, in this time of their lives, it was something that they needed to know. And so I just wrote the letter. I can't tell you what was in the letter at this point, but I just wrote the letter as my spirit wrote it for me. And I sent it, and his wife called me and was like, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, we were going through X, Y, and Z, and that letter was so, I didn't know nothing. I hadn't talked to them and nothing. I just followed spirit. And this is what I'm saying. I didn't have a limited mindset and say to myself, like, I don't even see them or talk to them on a regular basis. Like, what is this letter going to do? What is this, me sending them a gift card or whatever to go out, a movie? I don't know. I remember it was a movie gift card and then it was another gift card. I can't remember, but I can remember clearly one of them was a movie gift card, and it was like, get out, enjoy yourself or something. And it was another gift card that went with it. So, and then during that same time, it was another couple that I was managing an apartment complex. I lived in Georgia at the time. I was managing an apartment complex, but there was another couple that God put on my heart to do the same thing in a different way. It was a different type of gift card, but it was basically I needed to talk to the husband. I knew the husband. I didn't really know the wife too much, but I knew the husband. I had moved them into the apartment, so I knew them from that. But I was supposed to give them this gift card, and I could clearly remember the gift card was to the Cheesecake Factory. Hey, I don't know, but it's just like, but when I met with him and I gave him the gift card, in the card, he was just so floored, like, oh my gosh, nobody never ever did anything. Like, it was their anniversary. That's what it was. And he was low on cash, and he really couldn't do nothing for his wife at the time. And I didn't know this. I did not know none of this. But again, this was me not being limited in my thinking and allowing the things that was dropped on my spirit to just do it and just see what comes out of it. Not questioning, not doubting, just doing it. And in those two occasions, there were other times throughout my life, but those two just kind of dropped on me right away. So I just like to go with what drops on me right away. But he was just so touched because of the fact that it was their anniversary, and it was a movie, and I gave them a movie one too. That's right. I gave them a movie one and a Cheesecake Factory one. So basically, paid for their whole date. And it was just like, for me, I felt good that I listened to my spirit, and I was able to put a smile on their faces, and able to. So it was deep for me, and I just, from that point on, even though prior to that I always was a risk taker, I always tried my best to. I always stayed tuned to my spirit to the best of my ability. I'll say that. But what that did for me is it made me really, really stay totally open to whatever was put on my spirit, and go after it wholeheartedly, no matter what it looked like, no matter what my position was at that time, no matter what my income looked like at the time. No matter what my credit looked like at the time, I just made up in my mind, like, wow, as long as I keep following what my spirit drops on me, no matter what, and I don't doubt, God will always make a way for that thing to come to reality, and for that thing to manifest itself, and also for it to make a difference, whether it be in my life, my family life, other people's lives. And that is the way I decided to live my life. And from that, I've had so many different doors open up for me. So many different opportunities came across my path where I had options. I've always had options in my life, always. Like even making a decision to come to this institute and to become more self-aware. I had options even applying here. This wasn't the only place. It was two other places that I had the decision to make, but I followed my spirit. And today I had a meeting with one of the spiritual leaders. He's the president of the institute. Oh, I love this man dearly. And I talked about him before on one of the other podcast shows. And he has such a great spirit. And one of the questions he asked me today in our meeting was, what's my goal? You know, why did I come here? What do I want to get out of the Institute? And, you know, I talked about a few things, but I also was telling him, like, you know, my goal in coming here was like to rediscover myself and to just rummage through the baggage of my past and keep the good and bring it over to my present and apply it to me now. And just to, as I'm rummaging through my past, just to see how much I've matured at this point in my life versus a year ago, versus 5 years ago, or whatever. Like, what is it that, you know, I'm doing now that makes sense, you know? And I was sharing with him that when he asked me how did I get to this point, I was sharing the fact that the end of 2015, from the end of 2015 to now, I had moved 5 different times, physically moved. And when I say moved, I'm not talking about a couple bags. No, I'm talking about furniture, U-Haul. I'm talking about a serious move, like people that plan 5 years, I'm going to move. No, move. And, you know, I was just telling them, I'm not going to get in too deep with all the different reasons, but they all pretty much was valid reasons. You know, career, you know, and that was what during the time where I shared with you in an earlier podcast where one of the moves, because of the one career I decided to go with, I wound up getting evicted because I was waiting to get paid or whatever and going in the shelter. But even with going in the shelter for that month, I never allowed myself to limit myself. Like that was a part of my journey, and I embraced it. So it's like, you know, when I say having a limited mindset, people have a limited mindset because of your environment, where you are in life. You look at that and you just like, oh, I'm stuck. No, you're not. You're never stuck. You're never stuck. I don't care now if you're in jail. I'm sorry. But you're still not stuck mentally. Mentally, you know, I used to say, like, you locked up, you should come out the bomb, because other than making sure you're safe or whatever like that, they have libraries. So the things that you want to do in life I don't know how it is in there, but I'm just saying, you still can utilize that time to teach yourself some of the things. Your dreams don't have to die just because, you know, you're locked down, or if you're in the service and you can't really be around family and do wherever you are, that's kind of, you think that you're limited because you're in a certain position or you're in a certain environment. So when I was in that shelter, I still was making moves. I still was, you know, writing in my journal. I still was planning out, you know, the things that I needed to do, not just for the present, but for the future, so that I won't ever be in that position again, you know? And I came out with a whole new look. And from there, like I moved into another apartment, and from that apartment, that's how I came to the Institute. Because when I moved out of the shelter, I decided, like, I knew that, okay, this is too much. This is too much moving. I've never moved, even though I moved a lot out of my life, at least I was at doggone places for a couple years or something like that. But no, 5 times in almost the course of 2 years, that's ridiculous. That's mad ridiculous. And so I knew that, okay, God was trying to tell me something. And I knew I needed to go inward. And actually, my spiritual leader has a book called Going Inward. And this is why I want to get more to the blog, because I want to put the books and the different things, different people that I'm learning from, put their stuff on the blog so that you can too, maybe buy their book and read it for yourself and learn from it for yourself, or their audios or whatever. So, I realized that, okay, it was time for me to go inward. It was time for me to learn who I was all over again. And when I applied to the Institute, I didn't have a limited mindset like, oh, well, I don't know that much about yoga. Yes, I go to the Y for yoga. I meditate on my own in my own way. I didn't look at, okay, well, the people at this institute, this is what they're all certified in, holistic health and all of this. I knew that I wanted to study holistic remedies, and that was the path that I was on. I wanted to learn more about herbs. I wanted to learn more about alternative health and things of that nature. And I also wanted to learn how what it is I was missing for myself to become more stable, I guess, if I want to say it that way, when it comes to the whole moving around thing. So I knew that called for me to get more in touch with me, and I knew also that I needed to change as far as all the noise around me. I needed to kind of be to myself in order to get this process done and be successful with it, because I've always, even though I'm a social butterfly, I can be an introvert when it comes to my focus. When it comes to a project I'm working on or whatever like that, I could turn real introvert real quick. Like, I don't want to be bothered. Just leave me alone for a minute. But nevertheless, when you go somewhere and you decide, you know what, I need to change my environment because I need to learn more about me. I need a quiet space. I didn't look at it like, oh, they're not going to accept me because I'm not where a lot of those people are. I never looked at it like that. I just was like, listen, this is what I need. Let me look on the web. Let me see. I didn't have a limited mindset. I wasn't lost as to, oh, well, yeah, I do need to be secluded for a minute. I do need to go inward, but oh, well, I don't know nothing. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to start. No, I went on the internet, the World Wide Web, as we all have access to, and started my search. I prayed about it and asked God to lead me to the right place, and I listened. And I just took the limitations off. I could have been limited in my thinking as far as, look, I got a whole house full of furniture. If I move here, then, I can't take my furniture. I can't, I'm going to just really be in a room. What is this going to do for me? No, or my pay is going to be cut. I never looked at, I just said, look, this is what I'm dealing with. Okay, I got to tighten up. I got to tighten up on, what I want to pay for, what I want to do and stuff like that. And taking that mindset, while people would look at it like, I left a bigger space with a house full of furniture, whatever like that. Just gave it all away. I gave it all away. No money, nothing. That is me. People will tell you, a lot of people cleaned up off of me with my moves because I will give some furniture away. I do not hold on to attachments, And that's all a part of having a bigger mindset, because See, when you hold on to attachments like that, furniture and, a house, a car, and things like that, you are limiting yourself. If that is the reason why you're not making your next move because, oh, I bought this and I paid a lot of money for this, and then you're limiting your mindset because you're like, that's saying that you're not going to get it over. That's saying that you will never get another car. If you get evicted, if you go in foreclosure and you're just like, oh, that's it. Like, my life is over. That's a limited mindset. No, embrace it. If you lose your house, you lose your car, get excited because that means that there is something new over the horizon for you that's going to wind up being better than what you already had. Trust me when I say this. Now, it might not be right away. You might have to take a little dip into something less or whatever. But if you embrace change, because that is what life is all about. It's about change. Things are going to change. Nothing stays the same. You can stay the same with the same attitude, the same mindset, yes, but life is ever changing right in front of you, and it's all up to you if you want to change with it or not, So I decided a long time ago when life changed, I'm going to change with it. I want to take a step above. I want to grow more. Let me see what I need to learn about this change. Let me see what I need to get out of this that I can bring over to the next, chapter of my life. That is the way you need to start thinking. That's the way you start thinking. So I'm going to share the story with you. I like to share stories. So, and they're all true stories. Rather they just as crazy as they sound, they're all true stories. But this is how big I think. Okay, this is just only one story about how big I think. So, story goes like this, and I was trying to think if I shared this before. I can't remember. So if I did, and you listen to one of my other podcast shows, then okay, here goes again. So when I was in the mortgage business some years ago. First off, this is one of the things I think are big. I moved to Philly at some point, moved back to Philly at some point, and I moved into an apartment. I left a house in Georgia and moved back into an apartment or whatever. Long story short, within 10 months, I was in the process of buying a house. And within 10 months of coming back to Philly, I was in the process of buying a house because I didn't really want the apartment. So I told my son, which was then, I think he was like 8, 9, something, I don't know, around that age. He might have been 10. So I told him, I said, I want you to pick the house this time. So my real estate agent, she sent me a bunch of houses or whatever. And so he picked the house, and I was like, okay, you like this one? We looked at the pictures, like, okay, we're going to go see. Let's pick our top 3. But he was sold on this certain one. I was like, okay, but we'll go see the other 2 too. Went to go see the houses or whatever. Long story short, the house that he picked, the house that he was dead on, we got it. I got the house, and we moved in that house. Well, we was in the house for 2 years, and then the mortgage crashed. Industry crashed. And so back in 2008, 7, something like that. And so I could have took and wound up just, oh, woe is me. What am I going to do? I had a big mortgage, you know what I mean? And, no programs was really around then. And I just decided, okay, well, my son said he was ready to go back to Georgia. I'm like, okay, when you want to move? He's like, a week, next week. I'm like, so it's crazy because no kid thinks next week, but he know what his mom is capable of anyway, and what God is capable of when I work with him. So I just looked around the house. I said, well, look, give me a month, and we'll move in a month. So I worked everything out to sell the house and call folk up again, come get this furniture, whoever wanted. And well, of course I took some furniture with me, but it's a 3-bedroom house, so I got rid of a lot. But so what I did was I had some things. I was getting my basement done. I took all of that material back to Home Depot and got my refund and sold the car that I had. Like, just basically got rid of everything and just packed a U-Haul. and we got on the road. And at that time, I was like, I didn't have a job lined up. I didn't have a place physically lined up. I had a place, where I called a couple of apartments out in Georgia, but I didn't physically go see them. So we got on our journey, and by Wednesday, we were in Georgia. I stayed at a girlfriend's house, and I didn't have a vehicle. Remember, again, I didn't have a vehicle because I sold it. I didn't have a car. I was in the U-Haul. So I'm riding around in this U-Haul, going to these apartments. Well, none of them panned out that I saw online. So now I'm on a search. Now my money is dwindling down because I'm paying for gas for the U-Haul. I know y'all laughing. I'm riding around Georgia in this U-Haul Wednesday. By Friday, I found a place. Now, my money was low by then, because if anybody know, if you travel from state to state in a U-Haul, that's very, very costly. First of all, the rental alone is costly because of the fact of the distance, and then the gas is about $100 to fill up each time. And I had been riding around in this U-Haul. Thank God my girlfriend let me stay with her for a couple of days. But by the time I found the place, I had like a few $100s left in my pocket. Mind you, again, didn't have a job, I didn't have a car, okay? I knew I had to get the job, and I knew I had to get the car. So I made up in my mind, I still wanted to be in the mortgage business, and I still, that's it. I said, I'm going to get a job in the mortgage business. Again, no limited mindset. I just knew this is what I'm going to do, and this is what's going to happen. So we found a place. They were having a sale going on where the application fee was about $150 or $125. I always get it mixed up between the car and the place. But the application fee was about $150, $125 or whatever. I did the application fee. And as far as my jobs, because of the licensing that I hold, as far as my notary, mortgage, whatever, I just panned it out like, okay, I'm still working. Gave whatever information they needed. And I got the apartment. We got the apartment. I had the first month free. So that freed me, not worrying about, okay, I'm like, I got a month to get a job. But I knew I was getting a job in that week. Had to get my son in school, whatever, because it was school time. Took care of all that. We moved in. We got the apartment that Friday. That Saturday, we moved in. And I'm like, okay, we got to go car hunting. So I asked my son, what do you want? Do you want, a car, a Jeep this time? What do you want? He's like, let's get a Jeep this time. Now, mind you, this is my son knowing how things go, because this is what he see his mom doing. And this is why I'm saying you teach your kids young how to think. So his mindset was never limited because of how he grew up. He just saw, we just go. I'm always on go. So we go look for a vehicle. And we come to this place after checking many, and I give them all my information, my financials, my bank statements and stuff like that. And they're like, okay, well, you got to come back. No, I got approved. I'm making the story real short because I don't have much time. So I got approved to get a vehicle, but I didn't yet pick out the vehicle, but I got approved for the loan or whatever. So I had to switch my license over, so I couldn't pick the vehicle and take the car or whatever. And I had to come back. So came back in the U-Haul. I'm still in the U-Haul from Wednesday to Tuesday at this point, because Monday the license place was closed, so I had to go Tuesday. Go in the U-Haul, and we pick out, our top 3 or whatever. And I'm telling the guy, he's like, well, how much you want to pay monthly? I said, look, I want to pay $300 monthly. I made up my mind. This is what I'm paying monthly, $300. So he says, well, that Jeep out there, I could give you that Jeep for $300. That was in our top 3. Again, remember, my son said, let's get a Jeep. We don't have limits on our mindset. We just think this is what we want. This is what we're going to get, So, bam. He's like, okay, so how much you putting down? You have 2,000. You need to put 2,000 down, whatever. I'm like, well, I don't have 2,000 today. I have $100 today. Now, this is a true story. True story. I have $100 to put down. So he's like, he laughed and he's like, I was straight faced with it. Like, okay, yeah, really, how much? I have $100. I said, so I just told him, I was like, listen, you see that U-Haul out there? I've been driving that U-Haul around for almost a week now. That was very costly and it used up all my little money that I had. And I just moved and I got an apartment or whatever like that. So this is what I got left. This is what I have. So he's like, all right, come on now, 1,000. He started talking down. I never said nothing. I just stuck with my $100. I didn't try to Jew him down. I kept saying, I got $100. I got $100. So he went and wanted to go talk to whatever his manager or whatever, came back. It's like, we can't do that. We can't do that. Got him all the way down to $500, right? $500. So he says, come on, you got to come up with $500. I was like, I don't have $500. Went to the story again. Listen, I know that you could use this commission. Because I did mortgage, this is why. I know how the loan stuff work. I understood how everything worked. I'm like, you need this commission. You know what I mean? You're going to lose this commission. I'll have $300 a month. I just don't really have all that money down right now because of my situation, just all this moving and stuff. So he's like, all right, well, I can't really do nothing for you. I was like, okay, well, you just going to lose out on this commission. I left. Was leaving the building, me and my son. I told my son, come on. We walking towards the U-Haul. My son says, Mom, the man's calling you. So we go back and he's like, all right. Empty your pockets, empty your pocketbook or whatever. So I pulls out and I had wound up having like 125 or 150. That's why I say I can't remember which one, the apartment or the car was 150 and one was 125, but either one. Anyway, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna need you to give me that. It's like, of course. So I did have a couple hundred tucked away still, but that was what I went in with my mindset. Anyway, so we started doing the paperwork or whatever. And as I was about to leave it, so I was like, okay, so what about insurance? So he says, well, you said that's all you have, right? I was like, yeah. He was like, well, he gave me a card to a company, insurance company or whatever. He was like, you got a week to get insurance on this Jeep. This man let me drive off that lot with no insurance on that Jeep. I just gave him $100 and something down, and that was that. So this is, and I really condensed that story as much as I can because I'm looking at the clock. But I'm here to tell y'all, this is a real and true story, and I have many, many more like that I'm going to share with y'all that people just would not be able to believe could happen. But when you take the limits off yourself, when you take the limits off your mindset and you believe, it can happen. Anything that you want can happen. Yes, I'm going to be a trillionaire one day. Really, I'm a trillionaire now. If you really know what's really going on with the system and how the stock market and about birth certificates and stuff like that. I'm talking about I'm really be able to see it in my hands or whatever like that. But I do not walk around with a limited mindset because of what I got in the bank. I do not walk around like that because there have been plenty of times that I had opportunities to make so much money, but I chose the lesser because of the experience that I can get out of it. Because I know my goal in life. I know what I want to get out of this life. So therefore, sometimes it is not about the money. It's about the experience. And I say that many times in different podcasts. It's not when you learn that your path in life, your destiny, your purpose in life might call for you to take a step back. Might call for you to live small. Might call for you to live off of less money than you're used to making. When you learn that, you will flourish. You will see doors opening faster. You will see opportunities coming your way, and I just really need y'all to get that. It's not about, and that's why I try to talk on this show about not just living your own life, running your own race, not living by the standard quo. No, we all have our own path. So when somebody takes time to believe in you and you don't feel like you are enough, if they're believing in you, you need to believe in you. I've had a couple of people that I've reached out to personally and said, I want to bring you on a show. But they had a limited mindset. And I was trying to help them out, like give them a platform to talk about whatever they were doing. But they had a limited mindset, like they didn't believe. Like, oh my gosh, like I've never been on a podcast show. Like, what am I going to talk about? I'm not ready. Or, like if somebody comes at you and want to give you a certain platform or a certain opportunity to help you to shine your light more, you blocking your own blessings. You blocking your own blessings. So I said from that, it was like a good 3 people that I tried to give the platform to. And I said I didn't really want to do a bunch of interviewing here, but God touched my heart to reach out to these specific people. And if they're listening, they know who they are. I'm not mad at them. That's where they are. Like, and I'm not mad. Everybody has to get to their point, but I'm a person that I'm so passionate about helping people to see their own light. Stop focusing on what everybody else thinks. Stop focusing on what you think everybody else thinks. Let's say it that way. Because a lot of times we get caught up in what we think everybody else thinks, and everybody else is not even thinking that. And then we lose out on certain opportunities that come our way just because we're so focused on everybody else. No, focus on what you have to give to the world. God brings certain people in your presence at certain times for certain reasons. And if you're not open and if you're not receptive to it, you're going to miss blessings that could have opened up even more opportunities. And that's why, when I started this show, I decided, look, I'm just going to do it. Let me just do it. And then whatever happens with it. And I know I got to get some things in order. I wanted to be professional, but I'm just going to do it and be me. I didn't think I didn't look at the numbers and it was only 1, 2 people. I was excited about the 1 and 2 people in the beginning. And because I kept going and I just had this big vision. I'm like, this podcast one day is going to touch the world. It's going to touch the world. And I came on with the whole vision of, you know what, God, I just want to speak to people's hearts. I want people to live out their purpose, their passion, their dreams, and whatever words you put on my tongue, I wanted to touch them in a major way that they know, that they feel convicted that they have to change when they listen to the show. They have to make adjustments in their life. That was the way I thought when I put this podcast together, when I started building the blog. And I'm starting to see the fruits from it. I didn't have any limitations on who would come on this show. When those 3 people was just like, oh no. I said, you know what? Forget it. I'm not asking nobody no more. I'm just going to open up the platform, and whoever wants to come on and they have a good story to share for the listeners that'll be beneficial to the listeners, email me. And what happened? Bam, Ira emailed me. He not only emailed me, he sent me massive information so that I can have a chance to research and be able to learn more about what he was doing before I had the interview, And I was just like, and it was like maybe like a couple of days later after I did that podcast show and I put it out there, like whoever want to come on the show and they feel like this is a good platform to share and share with the listeners, email me your info. Excuse me, and we'll see about getting you on the show. And I have a couple other people too that emailed me, but that's what I'm saying. I decided, like, when I say you got to change with life, you could try things one way, and if it don't work out that way, then you just alter it and you shift it another way. If you're, in the business of helping people and certain people are not ready to be helped, then you just need to shift it in another way to allow it to open up for other people that are ready to be helped, And I don't have nothing against anybody. Like, I'm just like, whatever, like, I'm just open. But I do understand. I understand that people can have fear, or maybe some of the people decided that maybe my show wasn't their platform. Maybe the show was amateur to them, whatever the reason. But it didn't change my mindset. I know what I want the show to do. This show is not for me. It's for all of you. It's for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. It's conversation. And Ira, after the show, we talked and he just was like, he was like, thank you, because, the other interviews he had, they didn't really, he could tell that I really read his stuff. I really researched. I really, tried to piled on as much as I could and within that short time before the interview. And I worked hard at asking him questions that allowed him to get out what he needed to get out to y'all, so y'all can know more. And it made me feel good that I did my job. I did my job, and definitely we're going to have him back on the show, because I've had some people that call me with questions. I'm like, listen, I don't know that part, but nevertheless, I hit my 46. Well, I'm at 46 minutes. I'm hitting my mark, but just like today, I worked up to 6 o'clock, grabbed me some dinner, and came up here, and I really just thought about the topic. I had a couple of topics written down in my cell phone, because I try to ask Spirit bring me stuff. I try to write it down, and I just was like, okay, I'm going to run with this one. I didn't have any notes today. Everything that I just said was straight off the fly. Most of the time, it's straight off the fly. I might have a couple bullet points or whatever, but why I'm saying that, because I didn't look at, okay, I'm not prepared for this. Didn't get a chance to jot down notes because of my timing. So I'm going to cancel the show. I'm not ready. No, I didn't do that. I said, this is the topic and I'm just going to flow with it. I always pray. I meditate before I come on. And it might be little 5-minute meditation, whatever, but I meditate and I get calm my mind before I come on. I pray to Spirit, like, listen, talk through me to the people, share, bring back whatever story they need to hear that can motivate them. And that's just how it go. That's just how it goes. So sometimes I listen back to some of the shows. I'm like, wow, I don't remember saying that. Like, but when you tap in, when you clear your mind, you get rid of the noise, take off the limitations and all of that, you will see yourself grow into a different person, a different being, a different spirit. You will learn to appreciate you more. As a matter of fact, because of the fact that you took the limits off, and it's so freeing. So I'm going to go off. I'm about to hit 50 minutes. And y'all know I just try to keep it in the 45 range. But hopefully y'all are entertained and I don't lose your interest, because I really want to keep your interest. And just look forward. I got some different stuff coming y'all way. I'm really planning. I want to keep, stepping the show up so that y'all could keep coming back. And definitely go visit the blog. And like I said, this is my last Monday, y'all. So please make a note of it. This is my last Monday. I will continue to do Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That will always be the shows, and I will start putting blog posts up on Monday. So check the blog on Monday. So start next Monday, it'll be a nice fresh, it's going to be a nice amount on next Monday, but that's how it's going to go from here, because I got some other stuff that I'm working on too for y'all, so that I'm going to bring to y'all real soon. I'm so excited about it, so excited. Yeah, and that's because I'm not limiting myself. I'm just moving. I'm moving away. Spirit dropped stuff for me this morning. A lot of stuff was dropped on me. I've got my book out. I wrote it down. I put dates on it. So y'all going to see the fruits of that real soon, before this year's up. Okay? Before this year's up, I got some new stuff coming your way. So until Wednesday, this is Adionne, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, saving you from the world, saving you from some real bull-ish. Get out your way, y'all, and do the damn thing. I love you guys. Make sure, take those limits off. Do the damn thing. You can do it. You're enough. You're the bomb. Diggity. I'll talk to y'all Wednesday. Peace.
Thank you for listening to Chronicles of Living, where we talk to everyday people about everyday things in the past, present, and future. And if you are pursuing your dreams, I'm proud of you, because the best part of life is when you decide to live. To keep up with us, please visit chronicles-of-livin-podcast. Until next time, this is Adionne, your dream pusher. I love you guys.